All right. Hey, so in this video that we're about to do, we're going to talk about classes, which are, I guess, like a next level of objects. That's my early definition of it. So I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, so let's get into it. Um, Classes. So we can create a special kind of object by using what is called a prototype object. These objects are called classes. The prototype object will contain certain properties that the class inherits. Consider the animal prototype. We can provide certain properties that help us identify what the animal is, i.e., number of eyes, number of limbs, does it fly, swim, crawl, etc. Then the prototype can be passed off to a specific animal, say an orangutan, which is my spirit animal, and then we can assign values to the properties. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, so here we'll do this in quite a bit. We see we have the class keyword, okay, and then we have the name of the class. In this instance right here is animal. Okay, so notice that the class name, the first letter is capitalized. Okay, and that's how we do it. So here we use the casing is important, and we have to have a capital letter. Okay, and then we got our curly braces, and then we have this constructor. And I think in the slides we're going to talk a little bit more about the constructor. But the constructor is a method that uh, it creates the initial properties for this object. And then we have another method here called make sound. And it says this makes a sound. So here we go. In the previous slide, we built an animal prototype, but let's do that right now. So here I'm in my same app.js file that was working with objects. Okay, we're talking about classes. So I'm going to say class. So I start off with the class keyword, and I'm going to say animal, open parentheses, open close parentheses, and then curly brace right here like so. That is correct, right? Nope. Ha. I don't need the parentheses. I'm sitting looking at it like something's not right. There we go. So class animal, open curly braces. There we go. And then I need a constructor. Constructor is a method, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, let's see here. We built the animal prototype. Notice that we use the class keyword, and the first letter of the prototype is capitalized. The properties are stored in a method called the constructor. The constructor contains the properties that are needed to build an object. By no means am I an expert on animals, so this is just a simple example. In the constructor, we store the properties and the initial values, this dot value. And we'll talk about this in a moment. And we talked about this when we talked about objects, but here we are again. And then we can then add any methods we want outside the constructor method that will also be inherited. So let's go back to this and let's finish this. So we have name, and that is this dot name. Num of limbs, and this dot num of limbs. Let's see. Whoop. Is it this dot limbs? Is furry. Is this dot is furry. Or I have this dot furry. With this, I'll leave it this dot is furry. Is domesticated. This dot domesticated. Group this dot group, and sound, this dot sound. Okay, so all this is going inside of the constructor. Okay, and again, what this does is when we build out a class or a class-based object, what it does is it sets the initial properties of this particular class. Okay, and then we have make sound, which is again another method, and we'll just say console.log the this dot name sounds sounds like this, and then this dot sound. Okay, so here we have a animal class. Okay, and why would we do something like this? Back when we did person, way up here, when we did person, this person object, it is referencing a particular person, right? It's referencing the future president of the United States, The Rock. And that's what it can do. And it works fine. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? But what this class allows us to do, this class allows us to create an object, assigning to it initial properties and methods, okay? And then what we can do with it, once we build it out like so, we can pass it on to another object, if you will, where that object will inherit all of the features, all the properties. So this creates what we like to call a prototype. Okay, so this creates the prototype for animal, and then I can take this animal and we'll do it, and I'll pass it on to another object where it would have its own unique instance. All right, so we can then add any methods we want outside the constructor method that will also be inherited. Okay. What is this? A center for ants, you know, Eric Zoolander. um, no commas. Good question. So, ask about comments here. Right here, you don't have to. Now, there's a way you can set it up where you do add commas, and you can if you want to, like so. But with this particular build right here, you don't have to. Matter of fact, it doesn't like it this way. There's another way to do it with commas. But no, commas do not go there. What is this? A center for ants. The school needs to be at least 3 times bigger than this. See, I got all these great movie references. You know, I will just want them to be appreciated. Anyways, the this keyword again is essentially a pronoun that represents the class that inherited the prototype. And what it does, it binds specific values provided to the class object that it is assigned to. I can't remember if I came up with that on my own or if I saw it somewhere. But it binds a value to a specific class. Whenever that object is instantiated, only it will have reference to those values and no other object that was created using the same prototype. An example here, this dot sound for a cat will be meow, and this dot sound for a duck will be quack. because both animals do make sounds. However, the specific sound will be different based on the animal making it. Okay. So that should explain a little more this keyword. So let's pass this animal prototype to a specific animal. Right here, I have an orangutan. So I'm going to say, but before I do that, I'm going to say, let's console.log animal. And let's see what happens. When I console.log animal, here you can see the class. And there is the constructor. And you can see name. Oh, there we go. Wait, what did I just do? Console. There you go. Oh, this one. Oh, that's just it right there. The constructor, if I hover over it, there we go. Kind of see now. But there's all the features or the properties from the constructor, and then the method make sound. Okay. So now we've done that. Just want to look at that. Now let's make this animal. So I can say var. I'm going to make an orangutan. Orangutan is going to get here. I'm instantiating the Marla Singer. Nice. Here, when I say var orangutan, I'm going to say new animal because I'm creating a new instance of it. And so this is how I set that up. So var orangutan gets new animal. Okay. So when I console orangutan, you can see here, there's an animal class, prototype object. There's a constructor, and open up the constructor, and you see name, prototype. There's the make sound. Here's all this good stuff listed right in here. And because it is an object, its prototype is an object, I can add all this other stuff to it. Okay. But it also includes the name of the methods that we create in it. Okay. So there we go. And so now I can add these values to the orangutan object. So orangutan.name, I'll just say orangutan.name. It's going to get orangutan. But we got number of limbs. Number of limbs. Set that to 4. Orangutan.is furry. Set that to true. Orangutan is domesticated. Set that to false. Orangutan.group. Mammal. And then orangutan.sound. Ooh. All right. So there we go. We have created our orangutan. Now, again, if I come over here and I console orangutan, there you get it's an animal, and you can see all of the properties that are listed. Okay. To instantiate or create an instance of animal, you can see we prefixed it with a new keyword. So again, here, this is instantiating, just creating an instance of the animal class. So we're creating an instance of it. We've done this before with the date object, where we had to get the hour of the day. back when we were making, we were saying, hey, if the time is before 12 o'clock, say good morning, so on and so forth. And we created a new instance of it. That's what we're doing here with animal. So we're creating a new instance of animal with a new keyword. And then we can provide the values. And we access the values the same way we would any other object. So we could console.log orangutan.is domesticated and get false. And we can also make a call on the method. So orangutan.make sound. So I can say orangutan.make sound. And there you see in the console, the orangutan sounds like this. Whoo. So, and then what we can do, and why this is useful right here, is I can make a new instance. I can create a new instance. I'll say var dog. Be boring. Var dog gets new animal. And so now we can create an instance. Well, we've created an instance of dog, which we give it its own properties. Dog.name. Dog. Dog.number of limbs. 4. Dog.is furry. True. Dog.is domesticated. True. Dog.group. Oh, I see what it did. Fix that up. Mammal. Get rid of that right there. Dog.sound. Woof, woof. Okay. And so now, without me having to go and create a whole new, I don't have to go back and say var dog gets, it's all the way up here. Var dog gets, and then add all those properties. All this stuff is built in. So I just create a new instance of it. Okay. And now I can come over here and say dog.make sound. The dog sounds like this. Woof, woof. So we can do that with this animal object now. And again, I'm not a zoologist or anything like that, so I don't know all the specific properties and features that go to classifying animals. Okay. So this is a really, really crude example. Forgive me if you are a zoologist or you know someone who is, or just love it. I did my best. All right. But we can take this again and say, hey, class sport team. Okay. And with this class sport team, I can add different things. So I start off with the constructor. Okay. And then the constructor, I can add, let's say I do this. Here's another way we could do this. Constructor, I'm going to say team name. I can add arguments in the constructor if I wanted. You see right here. Team name, location, sport, league, or do I say conference? Division, and I don't know, titles. Okay. So here, now I can say this dot team name will get team name. This dot location will get location. This dot, was it sport? We get sport. And so you see here, Dana, this is where I use commas, this dot conference. So you can set it up either which way, and it likes both of them. Was that division? Yeah, this dot division equals division, and this dot titles, it's titles. Okay. And then I could, write a method. I could write some methods here. Okay. Or I could say just log. I'll say log titles. Okay. So log titles, and this is a method here. And with these methods, I want to make a point of this. I don't have to add the function keyword. So I don't have to say function and then whatever. I just say log titles, the name of the method, the curly braces, and right here I can say console.log this dot titles, or return this dot titles. So I can do that. And I can write as many methods as I want to, as many as I need to satisfy this this assignment. Okay. So now I can say var Dodgers gets new sport team. And in here, when I'm creating this, I can fill in this information here. So I could say Dodgers, and that is team name, location, Los Angeles, sport, baseball. I should have league on here. I'm going to add that league. So I'll just say right here, this dot league. It's going to get league. And so then league is MLB. Conference, National League, Division, the West, titles, 8. So there I have created a Dodgers object with this information that is passed into the constructor. Now if I say Dodgers.log titles, well, if I say console, let me console it because I'm just returning it. Say console.log Dodgers.log titles. And that is a method, so I need my parentheses. And there you see the number 8. Now, if I did want me, well, I'm not. Yeah, I am, because I'm going to be petty right now. So I copy this, go here and paste, and change this to the Padres. So there's a Padres, and they play in San Diego. Baseball, MLB, National League West. Oh, but titles. Oh, you don't have 8 titles, do you? Maybe 7. No, you don't have 7 titles, Padres. Maybe you have 6. No, you don't have 6. 5. No, 4, 3, 2, 1 title, Padres. Maybe no. You don't have any. 0. Padres don't have a World Series title. So now if I come over here and I log out Padres.log titles. Oh, what do I get? I get 0. Padres don't have any World Series titles. Oh, so there we go. But you see what we can do now with this. The power of the class. We can build out a prototype, what we want this object to look like. Okay, all the features. And then we can instantiate it for um, a new object, if you will. And then that object will inherit all of the properties, all the methods, everything is inside of that class. So it's pretty cool. So, that's that on classes. It's a really short video. Just want to show you how we do that, and I guess we'll do a project uh in the next video. I think it's what we'll do using classes. All right, so see you on the other side of this video.